Anyway, I mean, it's funny. There's a lot of things like the Champagne War. It was called the Wine War, and we were having like this wine war kind of thing. It was kind of like fun jousting, really. Though I mean, I would come out with a new flavored wine or a different kind of wine, and then somebody else would come out with another with a different flavor, and it would go to them, and and then we came out with champagne and like ended it because like I wanted to put bubbles inside of an alcoholic drink, and I forget what it was, but I had this other stuff. I think I wanted like an alcoholic sparkling cider. And champagne is basically, I think, something like apple cider made or whatever. Anyway, I wanted like alcohol, sparkly alcohol cider, and so that's when they came out. And then I wanted bubbles in it, so they made that, and I guess that's champagne or something like that. They have a couple different flavors, but that's how it started. It's kind of funny. I could actually tell you how champagne started. We had apple cider, and I wanted like an alcohol apple cider. And then I wanted bubbles in it, so then they put bubbles in it, and it became champagne, and people were like, anyway, the story is they got drunk and they gave me all their money, basically, because they loved it, they absolutely loved it, and so I like gave out like free samples to the town, and they all got drunk on it and had a good time and loved it, so. And that was a Champagne War. No shots were fired. All the massive amounts of death actually happened from the Black Plague. Like I say, somebody put Black Plague in the food processing plants. There were 200 worldwide, and my plants. One of them was like it was like 25%. I think I had a total of 60% of food output, and I had the food safe machines, radiation machines at two of my plants. And one little plant that only did like 5%. They actually broke it down for me one time. But mostly it was all the smaller thing, and mostly it was the fish that they actually put the Black Plague on. And it did get out, and then it spread, and it was like some sort of airborne or something, some really easy to catch virus. And 500 million, anywhere from, well, first 23 million people died, and then 200 million people died or something. It was really bad. I mean, worldwide with like 1 billion people. I mean, we had like 3 billion probably back then or something like that. I don't really remember exactly how many million, but I mean, it's a small amount, but still, it bothered me anyway. And I hunted them down. They were hoping that I wouldn't care. They were hoping that I'd be like, well, whatever. It's just 500 million people. But I was like, no, I care. And then it was like, oh shit. Because it's like, I am going to find them. And we did. We tracked them down. We went through every story. We went through every base with a fine-tooth comb, and that's Germany style. Until we found that very one person that was the food thing, and then it wasn't him. It was actually the person that was with him that happened to be like a supposed 4-star general or a diplomat of some kind. And we were looking for that guy. And that guy was either Nixon or Jimmy Carter or somebody. Or Roosevelt or someone around there. So, anyway, and someone that worked for the United States or something like that. So, anyway, although it was probably Zimbabwe, because that's like I say, disease and using a disease, that's a black tribe thing. That's not that's not French. That's not British. That's not Russian. That's not any of the modern day civilizations. That is a tribal. I recognized it as soon as they did it. As soon as I realized it was an attack, it was like, oh, that's Zimbabwe or some sort of black African tribe. That's what they do. So, I mean, it's not really. It's not a high level kind of thing. So it's not even really like a Mexican thing. It's like a particular tribe that would do that one, and I missed it right away. So. Anyway, though, but there's lots of stuff. I mean, like for instance, when they tried to poison the watershed, they yelled to me, "The fish are dead," which means they, like I said, on all my water filtration systems, like that one where the gliders came down into there, there was this big button on this wall, and and there's a big panel with all these things, and there's this big button in the center, and it was the panic button. And if the fish died, and they checked the fish every 30 minutes or every 25 minutes, if the fish died, you hit that button, and when you hit that button, it sent a signal out, and about 30 miles down, great big shutter doors would go slam, and all the water would just go, and stop, and that protected 5 towns. So, and they might have got that. That's why those gliders actually crashed there, and I think they actually got them. They were trying to pour stuff inside the water, and it killed the fish. They went up to the access port, and I think they were pouring in. They killed the guards, and then my other guys got there, and they caught them and found them trying to pour bags of something into the water filtration system, and my guys ran over there and hit the button, and that slammed the doors down. And we actually probably saved 25 million people, or at least 200 million people, because that one water thing, it's this triangle shaped thing, and we had all these bunkers on there, and the gliders came in, and I think they had a package of something to pour inside the water thing, or something like that. Anyway, though, and basically there's a water filtration thing, and it went through this thing, and there's all these fish, and if the fish ever died, you hit the button, and we had set it up beforehand, so people would do that. So my people called me up saying the fish are dead, which basically meant that they hit the plant, and they hit the button. And because otherwise people would just, and they would die, because over 200 million people, or it fed like 8 towns or something like that. So that's why hitting that one little triangle thing, and because there's a tunnel that goes out from there to the other side of the river, and then the massive watershed tunnel parallels the river down deep, about 1,000 feet down. So it's really important that they hit the button as soon as the fish died. So because the shutter doors were like 3 or 5 miles down further deep, and my people contacted me later on, and I think one town might have gotten poisoned, but they shut down the system before they shut down the pumps. And what that button did is it shut the shutter doors, and it also killed the pumps. So the pumps wouldn't even get water. I mean, it was a really good system. It was like for like 1910 or 1800, it was the state-of-the-art system. Like my towns and my bases would not die. So we rigged it really good. I mean, I paid top dollar. So it was a really, really, really insane system. And Japan had come in on it, and a lot of other people had come in on it to protect the towns. So they couldn't poison the water. So anyway, I don't know if it worked, because it's kind of like one of those things, you build it and then it works fine, and there's no problems, and then that one day comes along when you catch somebody going like this with a bag. And anyway, and I think they had gotten 2 other points too, but we caught the thing, and then we flushed the whole system out, and otherwise, 500,000, 500 million, I don't know, 300, like 150 million people would die, because they would be expecting good, clean water. It fed all the water to like 2 countries or something, or a country. I don't really know. I forget. It was a long time ago when I did it. So anyway, I mean, we took part in massive, huge things. So, we protected our water supply, and we protected our food supplies. So, and we made it hard to kill us, or hard to kill people anyway, especially with my equipment. I was like, if I'm building it, I don't want people to die. And that's how I know about them, because I paid for it and I built it. It was the best system possible, with the most amount of safety precautions. So anyway, none like it anywhere at the time.